Hi, I'm Patricia Malone with CTV News, and joining me now is Nancy and Ezra Freeman. We've been following the episode of what's happened to Ezra over the last 7 weeks. She's been stuck out at sea for a cruise ship, Princess cruise ship that she works on as an entertainer. She has finally touched down, made it home, and she's here to tell us a little bit about what happened with that.
Yeah, it was a crazy day. So I got home on Saturday. So we woke up. We were told to wake up before 5 a.m. just to make sure that we were still going into port in Fort Lauderdale. So I woke up at like 4:50 and I went right on onto my balcony. It was still dark out, but we could see the city lights, which was really nice after being at sea for 7 weeks and it just being total darkness because we were nowhere near land. So we saw city lights, so we knew we were going into Fort Lauderdale. And then at 5:30, I went up for breakfast because for those of us who were disembarking, all the North American crew, we had breakfast 5:30 to 6:30, and they told us we were not likely to eat again until we actually got home. And I knew that my flight was at 3 p.m., so that I figured I wasn't going to get home to my house until 10. So I was like, yeah, I'm definitely eating. So I stuffed my face at 5:30 and then went down to, we were all meeting in the dining room at 6:30. And at this point, like, it seemed like we were going to get off, but everybody was still kind of like, who knows? Because we're used to, anything can change at any second. So we were down in the dining room and then they let off everybody. They first let off everyone who was just getting straight off the ship in Florida and driving home. So anyone who was a walk-off, so they got off. So then we were like, okay, this is happening. It's really happening. And then they started to have us go by groups because Princess got 4 charter flights. So the plan was to get on 4 charter buses to go to a small airfield and then get on these charter flights and fly home. And so my group was the last one because I was on a charter plane that was leaving at, as I said, at 3 p.m. and it was going to stop in Atlanta and then go to Newark, New Jersey, where I got off. So when I actually got off the ship, it was 7:30 a.m. and then we stayed. They first had us get in the bus. Then they told us to get out of the bus and walk around the bus because we weren't actually going to leave for the airport until 1 p.m. because the aircraft had no room for us because it was that small. And they said, we could take you there, but then you would have to stay in the bus. Whereas if we stay here, you can at least walk around and order food. So we're like, yes, this is great. We'll stay here. Spirits were really high. And everybody ordered food, like pizza, sodas. I ordered like a vegan waffle. And yeah, it was really fun. Like we had a deck of cards. We just hung out. And it was like more social interaction than we've had recently, being in self-isolation on the ship. Even just hanging out outside of the bus. So that was cool.
So I was going to say that I noticed your demeanor is a lot happier than it was the last time we spoke.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Nancy, how was it? Did you have your doubts all the way up until the end?
Oh, absolutely. We didn't publish anything on social media at all because we've had so many possible plans that kept falling through. And like she said, it wasn't until she had her feet on the ground that she realized it was really going to happen. And frankly, we felt the same way at home. I was hopeful. I was pretty confident that this was going to happen because on Friday things were in motion. But yeah, so we drove to Newark. So they took a charter flight. She said,
well, there's a lot more that happened in between. Yeah. So we finally left the area surrounding the bus at 1. Then we found out that the charter flights, like the other charter flights, didn't have room for luggage. So they had to bring back 19 bags because these flights were so tiny. And so then they were shipping our luggage. We got to bring one piece of luggage with us. So that was fine. They figured that out in time for us. Unfortunately, the Canadians did not get their luggage home with them, but they made it down. They were the first ones to land, so it was okay. It was funny that the Canadians had landed while we were still in our bus. But then we got to the aircraft and it was so cool.
I have one question for you because we only have about a minute left. Are you having to quarantine here now, now that you've touched down as well?
Yes. So I'm doing my 4th or 5th quarantine.
And now
since this whole thing is started. Yeah.
That was part of the agreement, is that we would quarantine with her as well. So but it's okay. We get to spend 14 days together, and I'm okay with that.
And that seems to be a pretty good Mom's Day gift, even if it is a day. No, she was here for Mother's Day because she came down Saturday.
It was the best Mother's Day present I could have had.
Aw.
So, yeah. Glad to have her home.
All right. Well, we just want to thank you so much for, telling your story with us, all of these different occasions, and so happy to have you back here. And,
Thank you.
please let us know how things turn out in the future if you end up getting back on the cruise ship.
Thank you so much. Will do.
Thank you so
All
much.
right.